Hey, this is Kelly from Trail Tech. Today we're going to be installing a Voyager Pro GPS unit on a UTV using this RZR 1000 and the 922-125 kit. Our universal UTV kit includes the head unit, the dock, the Allen key for locking, ram mount parts, the column mount, the power wire, the ignition sensor, the CVT temperature sensor, and the buddy tracking antenna. For our installation today, we are going to use these tools, which include a metric socket set, a ratchet, screwdriver, side snips, zip ties, a multimeter, ring terminals, electrical tape, a fusible link, and a soldering station. Some of these tools aren't necessary, but to do the job right, we're going to show you how to solder and use the ring terminals. This is our typical UTV column mount kit, which includes the ram mounting parts, which work on both the steering column and the roll bar, the hose clamp for mounting it, protector for the hose clamp, and the screws to hold it all together. The first thing you're going to need to do is assemble the column mount using the included bolts. Next, you're going to want to install the protector on the hose clamp itself. Works easier to get it on there if you put some lube on it. Thread the hose clamp into it and put it all the way on the hose clamp itself. Now you're going to want to mount the ram ball to the back side of the dock. The bolts in through from the front side of the dock. Line up the ram ball. Thread the nuts on there. There's a 3mm wrench to tighten this side, 7mm open end to hold those. Do that 4 times. Mount the ball securely on the back side of the dock. When installing the column mount, you want to make sure that the hose clamp is oriented so the drive head ends up inside of the ram mount cover. Next, install the ram mount parts so that you can position it for best viewing. Locate your column mount where it looks best to you and tighten down the hose clamp. Once you've installed your Voyager Pro dock where you want it, you need to install the buddy tracking antenna. This needs to go in a vertical orientation on a plastic surface. On RZRs, this is a good location for it. Run the cable down the back side of the roll bar to avoid damage. Now you're going to need to connect the coaxial cable to the port on the back of the Voyager Pro, which is located on the lower right-hand side as you view from the front. These are gender specific. Plug it in here and screw it in. Once you've done that, you'll want to bundle the rest of the wire and put it in a safe location. Now you're going to want to install your power wire. The first thing you need to do is determine the length from the head unit through the body to the distribution block. The connectors on the back side of the dock are unique. So now that you've determined the length of your power cable, plug it into the correct port. Next, run your power wire down the back side of the roll bar and through the body panel to the distribution block. While not included in the kit, we suggest a 5-amp fusible link on the positive power lead. The best method for connecting 2 wires is to solder them and then shrink wrap them to make them waterproof. For a best connection on the ring terminal end, you want to crimp it onto the wire and then use shrink wrap over that. Like on the positive lead, do the same thing on the negative lead. Put the wire on, crimp it down, shrink wrap it. Now that you have your wires terminated to the ring terminals, you will want to connect them to the fuse block. Red on positive, black on negative. Make sure to route, bundle, and secure your wires properly. Next, we're going to install the CVT temp sensor and the tack wire from the head unit to the rear of the vehicle. Once you've fed your wires in behind the roll bar and through the body, you're going to want to terminate them into the appropriate plug-ins. Routing your wires from the head unit to the back of the vehicle will vary depending on the UTV. On this vehicle, run it down the back of the roll bar, through the inner fender, and inside of the rocker panel. Once you've installed the ignition wire along the rocker panel and secured it properly, run it up the engine wiring loom to the top of the motor. Once you've ran the ignition wire to the top of the motor, you need to access the spark plugs. On a RZR, this is easily done through the access panel. Once you've run your ignition inductive wire up to the spark plug wire, you need to wrap it around 5 to 7 times on the spark plug wire itself. If you don't have a typical spark plug wire and your coil is over the top of your spark plug, you have to run it down the jacket, up through the inside, and wrap it around down near the spark plug itself. Once you've installed your CVT wire from the head unit back through the body and back to the CVT case itself, there's several places you can install the thermistor itself. You can either put it in the exhaust hose, which would mean drilling a hole into the rubber and inserting it in there, or on a RZR there's a plastic plug, drain plug in the bottom of the CVT case, which is easy to just drill out and put the thermistor in. Once you have your sensor wires installed, you're going to want to test them, so you need to put the head unit in the dock, make sure the pins are clean, insert the head unit to the top, and push on the bottom to click it in. Once the head unit's installed, you want to make sure your sensors are working properly. You can do this by checking the various screens. On this one, you'll see your CVT temperature, your ambient temperature, and your engine voltage. This is hooked to the power wire, so this is actual battery voltage. The last thing you need to check is that your tachometer is working correctly. Get to the tach screen, fire your vehicle up, and make sure it's indicated here. That completes this install video. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please contact us.